Nice kickabout with the boys. 2 seasons ago, Arsenal were shockingly beaten by promotion side Brentford in the opening round. Brentford's forward pressure was so intense this match that it reminded me of that time. And we need to talk about Ramsdale, the goalkeeper who had to take it. Brentford pressed the field player to 1v1 from the front. For Arsenal to release it from the back, it was essential to use goalkeeper Ramsdale. When one of the opponents is attached to Ramsdale, they take advantage of a player who is momentarily free. But goalkeeper Ramsdale's condition was more unsettling than he thought, and Arsenal found it difficult to play with it. Arsenal's goal kick situation. The opposing left striker who marks Saliba on the right blocks the path to Saliba and presses Ramsdale. This will free up Saliba. Of course, it's hard for Ramsdale to pass directly, but you can use the 3-way pass play to connect. For this, Rice moves to act as a link. However, Ramsdale failed to boldly try to pass, bolted, and gave the ball away. It was on the verge of losing a point, but fortunately, Rice's super save saved the crisis. For reference, the expected goal for this scene was 0.42, with Mbeumo's first shot. Wiss's subsequent shot was 0.60. It's 1 in total. The expected goal of the penalty kick was around 0.75, so I was really lucky. What about this scene? Ramsdale under pressure after back pass. In the situation, a pressing striker is running from the front. It would be nice to open your body to the right, take it, and pass it to the right. But it's Ramsdale who doesn't see it and narrows the angle himself on the first touch. It turned out that 2 colleagues were free on the right that Ramsdale could use. The space was also about half the size of the field. It was much more spacious than the previous scene, but he couldn't make use of it. I think you can see how serious the condition of Ramsdale was. Ramsdale's seriousness was more prominent compared to his opponent's goalkeeper. An anterior pressure situation in Arsenal. It's similar to the situation Ramsdale was in that the pressing player was blocking the right passway. But if you look closely, the opponent's goalkeeper is at a disadvantage. Ramsdale had a 3-way pass option. In the case of the opposing goalkeeper, Odegaard was in a position to block the 3-way pass. What was the response of the opposing goalkeeper here? He removed the pressure with his personal ability through a calmly folding motion. And he passes directly without using his colleagues on the blocked pass path. From now on, it's snowball. To prevent this, Martinelli, who was behind him, came out on the cover. The opponent passes to the player Martinelli was originally blocking. Then Zinchenko, who was behind him, comes forward to prevent this. Opponent attacks Zinchenko's back space. And who is covering this space? Rice in the center. Then there will be a central space that Rice emptied. So Brentford made a shot in an instant while being attacked. It's a scene that shows the butterfly effect that a good rear build-up can bring. That's why goalkeepers with good build-up skills are important. I feel like a lot of games I'm facing a double team with 2 guys on me, and it's the same for Gabriel Martinelli. Brentford were based on a 5-3-2 formation when defending the area in front of his camp. Because he didn't have a wing, the midfielder on the side of the middle line was in charge of the side defense. Therefore, the side midfielder helped the wing back and even served as a cooperative defender for Arsenal's winger. However, Arsenal were able to take advantage of one opponent and 2 opposing defenders. Now that the side midfielder has been sidelined for a cooperative defense, it's to target the outside space of the middle line that the side midfielder emptied through a fellow player. If the situation was not good, we could also utilize the space on the other side through the opposite change. Instead of placing 5 on the defensive line, he took advantage of the weakness of the narrow 5-3-2 formation in the middle line. Pass that led to Arsenal's shot in this game. If you look at the K-pass coming from the outside of the relative middle line, you can see that Arsenal's attack made this space a major factor. Compared to the past few games, it is concentrated in this space. What's interesting, though, is that the attack method of attacking this space was markedly different in the first half and the second half. Shall we check out the first half first? It's a way for strikers to penetrate between the opposing defensive lines and aim for space between the open lines. Due to insufficient numbers in the relative middle line, the opposite space is open. The Odegaard switches the other way around. When Zinchenko, who received the ball, tries to put a pass, the Arsenal attackers take a penetration movement through the opponent's defensive line. The target point is between the centre-back and the right centre-back. Zinchenko caught the gap well because the centre-back was concerned about the penetration of Jesus. It leads to Trossard's threatening header. What about this scene? The attackers penetrate between the lines. Soccer passes between the lines outside the opponent's narrow middle line. The header of Jesus succeeded in penetrating, and Trossard puts in the spilled second ball. Unfortunately, it's offside. Arsenal's first half-attack method, which was looking between the lines like this, was quite effective. If you look at Arsenal's shooting map in the first half, you can see that the numbers are high, and most of them are concentrated in the box. The attack in the first half was to strike between Brentford's defensive lines like this. Change the plan for the second half, the outside of the line rather than between the lines. It was a long hit towards the far post. You put a striker in front of the centre-back on the other side, in front of the wing-back, and you tie up defenders, and you're aiming for the outside space. But this method was not very effective. If you look at the expected goal chart for this game, unlike the first half, which created a lot of chances, the second half was quiet for a long time. How about a shooting map? Unlike the first half, which was mostly inside the box, the second half was mostly outside the box. When the second half attack method aimed at the far post was not smooth, Arteta boldly took out Jesus and put in Keisha in the 66th minute of the second half, changing his tactics once again. In the same structure as before, it was to place one additional player between the wing-back and centre-back on the other side. The outside wing-back, who had to defend the far post, seemed intent on causing confusion by increasing the number of players to face. If you look at Arsenal's crossings after 66 minutes, you can see that this striker deployment was intentional. And this intention came to fruition in the 88th minute. It is also a structure in which a total of 3 are placed between the wing-back on the other side and the centre-back, and 1 on the outside. Odegaard concentrates the opponent's cooperative defence with a penetration movement and creates a cross angle for Saka. Keisha and Havertz, who were in the same space, jump to the front and back of the wing-back respectively, causing confusion for the wing-back. The wing-back then misses Havertz at the back and Arsenal scores. In terms of the last tactical change, it's similar to the video against Newcastle. However, this match against Brentford is quite positive compared to Newcastle. Not only because it produced the result, but also because the timing of the tactical change was faster than the last time. And above all, the most positive thing is that Havertz was the main character of this theatre.